Hello, hello, my beautiful soul tribe. Welcome back to Tarot Talk Live. My name is Catherine, and I am the host of this channel and of this episode of Conspiracy Theories, or this series called Conspiracy Theory, where we take a close look at different situations. It's not always a situation with a celebrity, but a lot of times it is something that is mainstream that we, or the most of us, are aware of and have questions about. Okay, just questions, right? But sometimes it is related to celebrities or civil or criminal cases. All right. But tonight we are looking at Nancy Guthrie. So we have been looking at Nancy Guthrie since day 3. Okay. Is pretty much when I came in on this case. All right. Asking questions. And here we are, unfortunately, at day 98. Today is the 9th of May. Okay. Today is the 9th of May, and it is day 98. All right. And we are going to be taking a closer look at Nancy Guthrie's senses. Okay. We've already looked at the first 3. Okay, sight, smell, and taste. And when it comes to taste, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that Nancy tasted anything or she ate a specific something or anything of that nature. If that came up, then okay, great, right? But this was, I feel, what we saw in that last reading was centered around Nancy's communication, okay, or Nancy's involvement when it came to breaking bread, quote unquote, with certain people, okay. And I feel like there was some sort of a shift or a change, okay, in Nancy's involvement or in her desire to be involved, okay, with certain individuals in her family. And I'm going to say this was an all of a sudden last minute shift in things, and it went left very quick. That is my opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only, and just in case um, I didn't get that point across to you, I am going to do that now with our handy dandy, if I can find my little handy dandy overlay. All right, because we don't play the games on this channel. Okay, this channel is all for entertainment purposes only. Okay, this everything that I say is alleged. All right, no one is guilty until they are proven guilty. Okay, everyone remains innocent until proven otherwise in a court of law. Okay, and again, this is all for entertainment purposes only. So everything I say is alleged. So you do your research for yourself, guys. Okay. Do me a favor also, if you could, please hit that like button for me. Please drop down to the like button. Drop down to the like button and help your girl support this channel. Support my other 2 channels as well. Queen Cancer Tarot. I have memberships available on that channel. And also on my other channel, She Reads Tarot, where I read for all 12 signs. So please check me out on my other channels. I am really diligently making my effort to grow this year. All right, so let's get moving. So I've got pretty much, we've got a lot on our plate, okay. But like I said, that was more of I feel like a sense of communication changed around this supposed dinner party that they had over at the other daughter's home, Annie, okay, at Annie and Tommaso's home, tomato soup, okay. We'll just say tomato soup, okay. And Annie's home. I don't know why I just feel uncomfortable saying his name. I just do. So moving on, we're going to now focus on her sense of hearing Okay, so there are three senses that we are going to take a look at. Hearing, we're going to look at the sense of touch, okay, or what Nancy felt, okay, and then we will look at that sixth sense that we all ignore a lot of times. Some of us hone into it, but some of us tend to ignore it, but it's intuition, all right? It is that sixth sense, so to speak. All right, that third eye that you can't see that sits there in the middle of your forehead. All right. So yeah, we're going to be looking into what Nancy sensed. Okay. We're going to be looking through her senses, not anybody else's. This is strictly through the eye of Nancy. So right now we're going to hone in on some important questions. Okay. That we should be asking about each of them. Okay. So let's just get a few. I don't want to go too many, okay, because I want to try to keep this reading a little bit shorter tonight. So, sense of hearing, okay, so sounds, noises. What did Nancy hear? So, the biggest question, or one of the first questions, what sounds stood out the most to Nancy that night? Okay. All right. Um, was there a particular sound? And how we word these questions is of extreme importance, you guys. Was there a particular sound that triggered fear, concern, or awareness? Okay, so did something startle her, wake her up? All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. What did Nancy hear right before the situation turned left, if you know what I mean? What sound did Nancy hear right before or as things went left? Okay. All right. Or before the situation changed, right? Um, okay. Did Nancy hear something familiar or unfamiliar? Okay. Okay, because there's been question in my mind about whether or not she recognized anyone's voice, okay, or whether she tried to and just couldn't make out these people whatsoever, okay. Um, okay, did hearing someone's voice bring comfort, confusion, or alarm? Did hearing someone's voice bring comfort, confusion, or alarm? Okay. All right. So that's where we're going to go with the sense of hearing. Okay. There's so much more. um, but now let's see. Hearing and then feeling. We'll go into feeling next, and we'll do those questions next. Okay, but let's focus on the sense of hearing for now. Okay, and to do that, we are going to start off with our oracle box here. Okay, I created this oracle box for all three of my channels. Okay, when I started pretty much my YouTube channel, my very first YouTube channel, and I started this with the collective in mind. Okay, and seeing that my collective has grown to 3 different channels, we all focus on different things on each channel, so there's definitely something for everyone on all 3 of the channels. All right. And being that I am a Cancer, triple Cancer, when you go to my other channel, Queen Cancer Tarot, like I said, that channel is just, that's my baby. That's where it all started. That's where the magic happened. Okay. And there are memberships available across on that channel, but there are also memberships that span across all 3 of my channels, where I have perks available for all 3 channels. Okay. So you'll see what that is when you go over to visit Queen Cancer Tarot. All right. So please do that. All right, guys. So what sound stood out the most to Nancy that night? So I'm just going to pull some random messages to see. Okay. This says windfall. Okay. Windfall. And there's a bunch of dollar signs here. Did someone maybe drop some change, or did some money fall out of someone's pocket? I mean, did something... that's interesting. Windfall. So did something fall and maybe she thought the wind blew it over? Okay. What sound stood out the most to Nancy that night? So was it the wind? Okay. Was there high winds that evening in Arizona? I don't know. I'm going to have to look at the forecast that night. I definitely am. We have sweet talk in the reverse. Interesting, okay, because you would definitely hear sounds, right? But this isn't sweet talk. This is angry talk, or sounds that definitely, or someone talking, and what this person was saying was not nice. Interesting. Also, a talk of money, perhaps, and some sort of a financial windfall. Was there a conversation about how much money could be received if this goes the way it's planned? Could there be very ugly conversations taking place about how much was going to be retrieved if they were able to pull this off? Okay. Could somebody have been telling her that they had to do this, or this is for money? That is interesting and very creepy, and just all kinds of it gives me chills, right, to even think of it. So that's what let's pull from a different oracle deck here. And then we'll go to the next question. or we'll look at the tarot messages as well. Sorry. And I'll try to be as quick as possible. What sound stood out the most to Nancy that night? Okay, that one in the reverse. Okay. It says stressed in the reverse here, working overtime, household responsibilities, too many people need your time and energy. This is in the reverse. I feel that perhaps the calmness maybe in someone's voice, or the way someone was talking about these things, I feel like may have stood out to her the most. Like they were just doing this, like they were just going to, pick up a gallon of milk on their way home. It was as if they had everything planned, perhaps. You know what I mean? Look, under the deck, ride, new car, new motorcycle. So perhaps maybe there was the sound of a vehicle that stood out to her. And she was like, why am I hearing a car pull up? Or perhaps that may have been one of the sounds that she heard initially that stood out the most. Or perhaps it may have startled her that she was being taken out and there was a car that was there waiting. Okay. I don't feel like that is what took place here. Um, yeah, I don't think that that is what took. Well, look, y'all, we got travel. I can't make this up. Under the deck, we had ride and travel. Listen, okay. Vacation, weekend getaway, moving far away, airplane, and long distance here. Both under the deck with calm. So these people were calmly, there's an energy of these people calmly traveled or calmly took her to a different location. Or she heard these people calmly talking about traveling to a different location, some sort of financial windfall, right? But this wasn't sweet talk, my friend. Okay. That's why this card stands out to me so much. Like she didn't hear people saying sweet things about what they were going to do with this little old lady. What she heard was far, far more sinister. All right. So, was there a particular sound, okay, that triggered fear, concern, or even awareness? Was there a particular sound that Nancy heard that triggered fear in her, concern, or awareness? And we got 3 that jumped out. Interesting. Coffee cup. Did she hear a conversation? I feel that there was a conversation about what these people were going to do, why they were there, the fact that it was about money or there was some reward and that they had no choice. There was some conversation. We have mirror here. Okay. So was there some sort of glass that was broken? Mirror has to do with a reflection or someone's image, right? It also talks about relationships, but being able to recognize someone. So there was a sound, she heard something, And I feel like it triggered confusion. I feel like this conversation triggered fear. What she heard, it definitely made her aware of her surroundings and that either she was going to fight back and not leave that house without a fight. She knew the conversation led her to believe that she did not want to leave that house. Look at this, y'all. I can't right now. Do you see what this says? Healing heart. Healing from heartbreak. Freedom from toxic relationship or addiction. Y'all, I cannot. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. So, whatever this conversation was that she heard them having, and with the mirror, there was some sort of reflection, or she heard, but she also saw. There was an energy of getting an image of the person talking, just hearing them speak, and I feel like that broke her heart. That led confusion. That led to a lot of confusion and definite concern. Let's pull. Let's pull from what's the vibe here. I'm sorry, I'm knocking boxes over here, you guys. I'm just getting my deck here, but I'm just getting I don't even know what to call it right now. My heart just started to hit really hard in my chest, and y'all, I'm having empathetic pains right now in my chest. I feel like whatever she heard instantly led Nancy to go into distress. I'm going to tell you right now, Nancy went into physical distress based on the overall shock and confusion and fear and terror that she felt just from what she was able to hear. She heard conversations they probably didn't know that she could hear. She may have been able to adjust her hearing aid and see. So there's some interesting aspects of this. Did she have her hearing aids in? Y'all, a wind just went through here. I don't know if you heard it, but it was so strong that it shook the entire house. It scared me. I thought it was a tornado. And I was instantly nervous, like, where are the sirens, y'all? The energy. And why did Archangel Michael come out right as I pulled that card? Archangel Michael came out. Listen, you guys. I feel that Annie had angels around her. Yes, there were also darker energies that were present, but there were also angels that were aware of what was taking place. Okay, we have hopeless here under the deck. And isolation. Archangel Michael was present. And that is just a reminder because this is dark energy, right? This is, I mean, dealing with situations like this will bring about that. Okay. But everything I deal with is light. Okay. Everything I deal with is light. But what I'm saying is, when involving in this case, there are darker energies at play in this case. Okay. And I'm telling you, that wind coming through so powerfully just then was not by mistake. That triggered fear. I'm hearing sounds right now that I don't like. It's a very, very loud airplane. It's not a regular plane. It's so weird. It's so weird. There are lots of things going on in our world today, y'all. There are lots of things going on in our world today. So there was a feeling of hopeless and isolation, but Archangel Michael was there. Healing heart here, y'all, is what got me. You know what I mean? That's what got me the most. Okay. Let's pull from our deck here. Was there a particular sound that triggered fear, concern, or awareness? Immerse yourself in things that make you laugh. Wow. Did someone laugh? Did someone think it was funny? There was something that triggered Nancy's fear. Something that triggered her heart in that moment. Just terrible. Okay. Let's look at the tarot messages here. Was there any particular sound that stood out to Nancy the most? Any sound that stood out to Nancy the most? Okay, so we have the 8 of Swords, okay? Blocked. Tied up. Tie her up. Someone may have been ordered to tie Nancy up. Okay. Under the deck, 3 of Swords. This talks about pain and loss. Oh my goodness. It's like being bound and having this sword. Okay, guys, I hope you're still there. Y'all, I'm going to tell you right now, that is not a coincidence that just happened. There was such a rush of energy. And then the entire internet went out. I kid you not. Literally, just when I said something weird is going on and I don't know what it is, but I don't like it, then the freaking internet went out. There was a power flash. There was a loud wind. It felt like a tornado passed over my house. The house shook. Then I heard strange airplanes. I'm kidding you not, y'all. I heard a very loud airplane after this. What is going on? Hold on for just 1 second. Hold on for just 1 second. Okay, you guys, when I tell you I had to get myself all the way together, I just had to get myself all the way together. Literally, I'm going to tell you what just happened. So when I heard that loud noise that literally felt like a freaking tornado, immediately after that, there was a light flash. Okay. No. Immediately after that, I heard something that sounded like strange airplanes. Remember, I said, like, that sounds like some weird aircraft, but it was creepy. It was like right after the house shook, and it was like a huge wind or something went overthrew this whole neighborhood, dude. And then I hear these strange airplanes shortly after that, loud airplanes. And I know there was more than one of them, and I could hear them going past, like almost in the same direction that the wind went. I kid you not, you guys. I am not even freaking playing with y'all. You know what I mean? The hairs on my arms are standing up right now because right after that, there was a flash. My internet connection literally completely went out in the entire house. I am not even listen. And then 2 minutes later, it came back on. That just happened. And I have it all on video, pretty much the sound of it. So I cannot wait to go back and rewatch this, you guys, right when that happened, because I literally felt this house shake. Y'all, I don't know what that was. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was UAP, UFO. I don't know. But something went through here. Moving on. So the 8 of Swords and under the deck, the 3 of Swords. So again, something about, this conversation, something about hearing what was going to happen, something callous, something about the calm nature of how they were talking about her in this way. And it was frightening. And it did trigger fear. Okay, so what particular sound triggered the fear or confusion which is what I felt. I feel that it was confusion. So we have the Page of Cups here in the reverse. So again, something about a cup, a coffee cup. Okay, and then we have the Page of Cups in the reverse. This is all about disappointment. Okay, so could it be feelings, being disappointed, hearing individuals that she never expected to hear saying certain things? Could there be disappointment in hearing people laugh and be callous about her last moments, feeling isolated and hopeless, feeling that no one was coming to her rescue? Okay, I'm telling you, Archangel Michael was present. However, Archangel Michael was present. She went from being heartbroken to having a healing heart in the presence of Archangel Michael. I'm going to tell you right now, I just feel that there was some sort of comfort that Nancy experienced. Okay, and it was a spiritual comfort. Okay, so Page of Cups in the reverse underneath the deck. We have the King of Wands. This is all about planning, someone making plans. This was disappointing, hearing this, hearing people's plans, hearing what the end result is going to be. It left her feeling hopeless. It left her feeling disappointed and isolated. Why would she feel isolated if she had a daughter that was nearby? Just ask yourself that question. Let's move on to the next. All right, what sound did Nancy hear right before or just as things were going left? What sound did Nancy hear right before or just as things were going left? What sound did Nancy hear right before or just as things were going left. Okay. Cloak and dagger. Deception. Do you see this? Number 7. All about fear, all about someone was hiding behind a mask. Someone was dressed up and they were holding a dagger. There's an energy of behind my back, or, yeah, you guys, I don't like that. Right before things went left, was somebody holding this? Was somebody pretending to be there as a friend and they hurt Nancy when she wasn't expecting it? Okay. Could that be? Y'all, the flames, transformation. See, this is all about somebody changing. This is all about not realizing that this person could change in such a evil way, or, because we have that King of Wands. So there's that energy of someone being very much angry. Okay. Very, very passionate to the point of flames. This can also represent a darker connotation as well. And with this cloak and dagger and deception, and then someone changing all of a sudden, yeah, that is what is happening here. Could she have necessarily heard someone light some sort of a fire or some sort of a combustible situation? Y'all, I'm sorry, you guys. Just a fruit fly from like Hades, and it's going to go down in here, okay? Before the end of it all, and I'm definitely going to get that. I'm going to be the winner, okay? Period, point blank. So anyhow, so yeah, she heard someone change. She heard someone go from being what she thought was a friend to having a very darker, more deceptive conversation, I feel, or saying some things that were very dark. And it was completely different from anything she ever thought she would hear. Okay. So I do feel that it was someone she knew, which is leading to the next question. Did Nancy hear something either familiar or unfamiliar? So let's first look at the tarot messages for this one. Okay, what sound did Nancy hear right before things went left? What sound did Nancy hear right before things went left or sideways? Okay, that one in the reverse. Okay, so we have the 7 of Cups. I told you, in the reverse. Okay, so this is all about confusion, but this is someone who is getting clarity. This is someone who is starting to pick up on a situation. They weren't quite sure. Maybe she couldn't quite recognize a voice. And then when she recognized the voice, I feel like that's when things went left. Maybe this person came in wearing this false mask of being a friend, and then things quickly transformed or changed, or this person got inflamed. They quickly changed and turned into a much darker individual. See, you can see this person, and then in the other card here, they're dark. You can't even make out their face. You see what I mean? They're a much darker energy. As a matter of fact, it's like, gosh, their face is so dark that it's just scary. Do you see that? So yeah, cloak and dagger, and this person could have had a mask on, and maybe she was confused and couldn't make out their voices. But with the 7 of Cups in the reverse, this is someone who's gaining some sort of clarity about a situation after being in the dark. You know what I mean? This is also a very chaotic situation. Okay. Underneath the deck here, you have the Knight of Cups. So this is someone who basically is going back and forth, making negotiations. So, this is like someone pleading, someone begging, someone pleading, wanting to negotiate, trying to get someone to, don't do this, don't do this. Wow. Okay. Did Nancy hear something familiar or unfamiliar? Did Nancy hear something familiar or unfamiliar? Were the sounds Nancy heard that night familiar or unfamiliar? Familiar or unfamiliar? So we have not today, not dealing, hurt, awaiting a conversation, call, or a person, boundaries, and still angry. And kisses, unconditionally loving, giving, receiving affection. So definitely an energy of, I feel like, yes, there was an energy of maybe someone that this particular day, it's like this is someone who was familiar, someone that she had affection for, but not on this particular day. There was an energy of someone hurt her, or there's an energy of she was hurt, or not accepting calls, not speaking to someone, because it says avoiding a conversation. Avoiding a conversation, a call, or a person. So it was someone familiar that with kisses, you would think that was a close connection, but she was avoiding these people or this person. She was not taking their call. I feel that something went left and she didn't even go to the other daughter's home. Or if so, something went left and she left. Under the deck, we have the Runner. Fear of intimacy, being afraid of someone, running away, trying to get away. This is someone that she was very much familiar with, but didn't want to be around this person. She was afraid. There's an energy of some sort of fear. We have seduction under the deck, which talks about someone interfering, having a third party. Could be 3 people, multiple people, and hooking up, getting together with temptation. There's an energy of doing something obsessive because Nancy wasn't speaking to them. Nancy wasn't dealing. Nancy didn't want to talk. Okay. Did Nancy hear something familiar or unfamiliar? Was it something familiar or unfamiliar? Look at this. Message number 7. once again, she heard someone talking. She heard a message. She heard someone. Under the deck, change. And she heard this person change. Whatever it was, this person came with a message, and that message went from one thing to something completely different. She recognized this person, but this person had changed. There was something different about this person, and with concern behind the scenes, there was something that concerned Nancy about this person. Okay, yes, they were familiar, but there was something concerning, and the fact that they were there, knowing that she was not talking today, that she didn't want to deal with anyone today. Why were these people showing up at her home? So yes, something familiar, but it was concerning. Let's see. Let's look at the tarot. Did Nancy hear something familiar or unfamiliar? And we'll go into another message. This one, I don't want it to go too long. We'll go into another message and we'll look at the sense of touch or feeling. What did Nancy feel, or what was it that touched Nancy, or what did she touch that may be of something that we need to pay attention to? Okay. Okay, so did she hear something familiar or unfamiliar? Well, we have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, and look, lo and behold, the Four of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so when the Four of Wands is in the upright, this is all about being at home, feeling like you belong there, like you're around family, friends, loved ones, feeling a sense of welcome. When it's in the reverse, okay, this is going to be the opposite end of that. Okay, feeling very uncomfortable, right? Like you just, there's an energy of some sort of issue that is taking place within the family. Okay, within the family unit or within the home. And with that Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, oh my gosh. Okay, even worse. This is all about jealousy. Okay, jealousy. So there is some sort of feminine, divine feminine energy, someone who is extremely jealous. Okay, so that is the voice or the sound that stood out to Nancy, y'all. That this is just getting darker and darker. You have the Knight of Wands here. Okay. This is somebody getting hot-tempered, somebody who's angry. This talks about rebellious. Okay, someone who's being rebellious. And then right after that, we have the Eight of Cups. Overwhelming, disappointing. Okay, this is an energy of, finding out or seeking truth, right? Wanting answers and being overwhelmed. It was too emotionally overwhelming with the voice, with who she heard, with who it was. There was a familiarity about this that made it overwhelming for Nancy. I'm going to let you know this right now. The weight or the burden of what was taking place and who it was that was behind it all, I feel like affected her situation more than these people ever could have done. All right. So Yeah, we already asked basically about, did hearing someone's voice bring comfort or confusion? So we pretty much already asked that question. Um, yeah, so we're going to leave it at that, you guys. Okay. We're going to leave it at that. We are going to come back with another conspiracy theory and episode, and we are going to look at the sense of touch or feeling. What did Nancy feel that night? What touched Nancy? What did she touch that may be of importance in this case? All right. Because again, any detail could be essential, right? And anybody hearing this, you never know who may hear what that may bring about a thought process in someone that actually matters to this case. Okay. So, again, share this video, you guys, like this video, subscribe to the channel, check out my other videos, you guys. They're all pretty much timeless. All right. So, please go and check them out. There's some goodies the in the archives. Okay, so please go and check the playlist and go and check out my previous conspiracy theory videos. And I have some shorts out there as well. All right, I do have an episode called Conspiracy Theory Shorts, and we just kind of will go on there and ask a question or two as they come up. All right, I will be doing more posts around those conspiracy theory shorts because I know you guys like the shorter versions as well. All right. But I love you guys. Make sure you like the video once again, like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, help us grow, and put a yellow heart in the comment section so that your name can be entered in the drawing and you will be entered in your chance to win a free reading. All right. I'm going to be announcing the monthly winners on my other channel, Queen Cancer Tarot. So if you're not, please go there and get subscribed. All right. So you can also be entered in your chance to win. Everything I give away is in the description box of every video on that channel. So go check it out. The links are below, and book yourself a reading on the website. You guys, you get 30% off of every order, $15 and up. So go and check it out. The link to my website is below. And yes, I am booking readings right now. I love you, and I will see you later. Take care, and I will see you next time. Bye.